educate, empower, enable, impact. Thank you for tuning in to That Will Never Work podcast, where we share inspiring information and personal experiences related to business and the entrepreneurial journey from those who are leaders in their respective field. Now, here is your host, author and business coach, Maurice.
I thank you very much for tuning in today. I want y'all to know that who do I have today on the show? He's a straight shooter, just a regular old, guy that has various hobbies that he really loves and he believes in. He's a visionary leader. He's a business building maestro, best-selling author, a podcast guru, a mentor to all stripes of entrepreneurs, and a family man who somehow finds time to enjoy the simple things in life. He's a living proof that success can be found on your own terms, whether you're scaling Amazon empires or soaking up the sun by the pool. For some of us that are in the Northeast, like myself, I would love to be in nice warm weather today. And that is a beautiful vision to have. I thank everyone for coming on and tuning in today. I bring none other to you than Neil Twad. Thank you, Neil, for coming on today.
Thank you, Maurice. That's a fun introduction. I appreciate it, brother. That's awesome. I'm honored to be here. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. So again, we talking about just being normal, ordinary guys, right? Just trying to, do something a little different.
Yes, sir.
One of the topics that you refer to, because again, from a normal perspective, a lot of us understand that we're in financial challenges and things like that, and just looking at the interest rates and changes in car notes and things like that. So some of us are contemplating the idea of filing from bankruptcy or whatever it might be. So one of the things you talk about is going from bankruptcy to printing money, with e-commerce. So what is that idea and where did that come from?
Yeah, so it stemmed out of a need because I needed a way to provide for my family, also take care of that in that situation, my wife who was sick and our 4 baby girls who were under the age of 5. So we had all of our kids in 4.5 years. And with that became, a crazy household. But then, part of that discovery process of my wife becoming pregnant, we discovered some medical issues with her and autoimmune issues and things that affected her much more greatly than we anticipated. So for a while there in life, I became the dad, the mom, the business guy, the provider. I became everything for the family. And so in that process, things were not particularly great. And, we had some trouble with finances, who doesn't? And that, led us into a very crazy time in our life between, sickness and young children and then bankruptcy all on top of that. If you think the world can heap things on your head, just wait. If you think it's as bad as you think it is, if you're not dead, it's not as bad as it could get.
Right.
We always want to look up, right? If you're still alive, you're still fighting.
Right.
And so it's just a matter of sometimes getting clarity on what fight you should be fighting and when. I think that's where people get confused a little bit because they kind of feel, and I know that from personal experience, you kind of feel like you're fighting on multiple fronts and you're stretched extremely thin and you're stressed out and you might be working 40 or 60 hours a week and you're like, well, what else can I do?
Right.
Or you may not be able to find work and you're like, well, what else can I do? Or you may be able, hey, how am I going to make my next month bills? Like, what else am I going to do? And I've been in all those fronts. I struggled through all those things. Everybody likes to look at where you are now and say, well, that's easy for you to say because you're X, Y, Z.
Right.
But don't recognize the 18 years it took me to get here and the struggles and the battles and the bankruptcies and the divorce and the heartache and all the problems that went along with that. Because it's always a story, right? And there's always a road to be walked. At this point, it's easier for me to say because I fought many of those battles.
Right.
And in the process, I learned which ones were a priority and which ones not to pay attention to. And that's part of just taking knowledge into wisdom, is it not?
Wow. So I think there's something that you said there that's very important. You said 18 years, right? And so some of us, because of social media, microwave generation, whatever it might be, however you want to word things, a lot of times we're looking where we get caught up in what society is looking at, social media, whatever it might be. So for you to take some time, because you had to, fight, like you said, you had to fight your way through all those challenges, right? So how did you keep your motivated and wanting to push through? Because sometimes we get caught up in, oh no, it didn't happen within a year, I'm gonna give up. I don't know what else to do. whatever it might be. So how did you stay motivated to get to where you are now?
One of the biggest factors was finding a mentor, was finding someone who I could focus on, who was also somewhat focused on me, and giving me insights and, pushing me to be a better person. When I went into the world too far, I discovered that there's a lot of voices. There's a cacophony of voices, and you're like, good gosh, this just sounds like lots of noise. It just becomes white noise at some point.
Right.
And so when I discovered that, the idea of trying to find motivation in the world is very difficult when you can't discover what motivates you first. And so in the process of defining that and learning who I was, I had to figure out what actually motivates me and what I am empowered by. Like what makes me get up, what makes me go, what makes me focused. And quite honestly, Maurice, the biggest discovery was realizing that I'd focused too much on myself. And with self came too much selfishness. And with that came too much idea hoarding and too much hoarding of, whatever I could get my hands on or wherever I could get it from or whoever I could take it from. And the biggest shift in momentum in my life was when I surrendered all of that and actually, getting married and having children was a huge process by which I grew. I grew to become selfless in the, dealing with these small children and changing my perception and reality about what is important and when it is important when I'm focusing on the lives of these children.
Right.
And then having to put more and pour more into them, it gives that opportunity to build, a selfless person that is not by nature. I don't see us being selfless people. We are selfish people by nature.
Right.
We are built that we're born that way.
Right.
And so we have to learn these things, right? And how do we learn them? We learn them through experience. You don't learn them through wondering. You don't learn them through reels. You don't learn them from watching television or motivational speakers. You learn them because you took action. And in the action, you became, you failed at something. And in the failure, you defined who you are. That's where the idea of the phoenix rising up from the ashes becomes a powerful analogy, because you rise up from those things that burned you. And you learn to become stronger and wiser in those processes. But if you're too afraid to experience it, if you're too afraid to try it, if you're too afraid to take the risk, no motivation, no speaker, no thing on a wall, no reel that someone says is going to actually motivate you to do anything until you first motivate yourself to take action. Action leads to failure, and failure leads to opportunity. Notice I didn't say action leads to opportunity. Everyone wants to jump that part.
Right.
Okay. When I got into the campaign building side of my internet years, because I was building up a media consulting practice, I had 10 consultants underneath me. After about 7 years of hard work and almost going out of business twice, I finally was able to get to a position where I had people working underneath me and growing the business, which freed my time up more. And so I was getting, started in the internet world of marketing, which, by the way, folks, back in 2009 and 10, there wasn't any Facebook media advertising, buying Google, TikTok, none of that existed.
Right.
There's nowhere to go buy. We were doing it in spreadsheets. We were uploading it by, creatives, and we were just trying to make money and figure that out. And I actually discovered I was pretty good at it, and it took off pretty fast. And in that process, I learned about, lead generation, marketing online. And that really helped, open up a whole new spectrum of things for me. And that was basically using the internet, as a tool to define a mechanism, if you will, to get people interested in my offer. At that point, there was literally dating apps on mobile phones, and I was arbitraging traffic, which means I was buying traffic. And then as someone would convert the traffic, I would get a commission. It was known as affiliate marketing, still is. Right. And in that affiliate marketing, it was like a little side hustle, and I was able to build that side hustle up. But here's the thing. It took me 300 campaign tests and failures before the first campaign actually made sales. So imagine if I gave up at 150, if I gave up at 299, it was the 301st campaign that actually started making sales.
Wow.
Right? Where is the tenacity and perseverance and grit in your life is the question that would motivate you to actually do that much level of effort to find your success. If you can find that in yourself, then you will find success in your activities. You simply will, with perseverance, grit, and tenacity. I discovered those were kind of ingrained in me to some degree, but they had to be focused because it wasn't comfortable. It wasn't known. It was something I had to do. It was something I needed to do to provide. It's something I needed to do to take care of my family. It's something I needed to do as a man, in this case, for my household, because that's how I felt, my responsibility. As I was trained, my dad was a 30-year guy who graduated, from barely high school. I don't even think he got his GED. Went into the Navy and then became a maintenance man for 30 years at a plant in Southern Oregon. And so he was a hardworking, cool dude. Right. But at the end of the day, he had no business experience. He had no finance experience. He had none of that experience. And so I had to learn all that. Like it wasn't ingrained in me. It was something I didn't understand about myself. And through multiple failures, I started to figure out, what motivated me and where I found it. And literally anybody telling me no was more like a KNOW, not an NO.
Yeah.
Till they told me a hell no, get out of my face, leave me alone. Everything else was a KNOW. I don't know. I don't know what you mean. You don't know what I mean. We don't know what's going on. Let's figure that out. And in the process of that, I learned an ethical manner of selling that gets you to a process by which you don't take no for an answer until it's a hell no. And then you realize that sales fixes everything.
That's funny.
It does.
Yeah, right.
Whether you can sell something, whether you can flip it online for a side hustle, whether you can build a business and sell it, whether you can get other people to buy into your business or whatever the case may be, your widgets, your wares, your services, if you can't sell something at the end, if you can't just sell yourself in today's market, you can't get a job. That's basically selling, right? If you can't sell the benefits of you, or you can't sell the benefits of a product or service, you don't have an opportunity. And that's where that starts, right? Your opportunity starts at the end of your excuses. So what are you going to do to start working today to make it happen? There's so many ways. It's like, Maurice, there are so many ways to make money today. It's insane.
It is, most definitely.
Oh my gosh, people get so confused, I think, by how much. Like just one example, if you can find some products to flip on TikTok Shop right now, it's blowing up like crazy. If you want to just go over there and become a creator who gets on video and promotes product, the creator side is free. It's affiliate marketing. There's so much traffic right now.
Right.
Like I threw up some stupid videos and I'm making about $1,000 a month in commissions just throwing up stupid videos talking about products I had. Products that I even liked that I bought from TikTok Shop that I just turned around and said, okay, I signed up as a creator. I shot a video and now it's making money. Like, I think people overthink these things a little bit. You know what I mean? They overthink the complexity of it and they just don't take action.
So, one of the things that you said a whole lot. I have 1,000 questions. I'm sorry, dear. But,
no, go for it.
But I think what happens is, and I'm gonna stick with the video piece right now because that's what you just left off on. Sometimes our videos may not look like anyone else's, right? And it's not as perfect or polished, and I don't know how to edit or whatever it might be.
Doesn't matter.
And I think that's where it goes back to something you said about understanding failure. Well, failure is, in my opinion, failure is only based off of your opinion of yourself. How do you fail? Because no one else would know that your video is crappy. Maybe you did it on purpose. You get what I mean? Because
absolutely, dude. What is a failure?
Right.
A failure is literally something that you define as an imperfection in an activity or something that you did or said that someone else may not like. So in essence, what you're afraid of is the rejection of other people. If you can move past the rejection of other people, then you will be your biggest critic. If you're your biggest critic, it is simply because you haven't tried enough to figure out what it is you want to do or where you want to go. Whether you want to be a speech. I was a musician for many, many years, went to school on a full music scholarship to college. But I felt like I sucked at music every time I got up on stage, right? I just felt, but I was my biggest critic.
Right.
And if you can shut out that noise and put your blinders on for just a second and realize, you have something of value. Everyone does, right? And if you make videos for TikTok creator and you want to just go become an affiliate, we've got a simple profit system that we created at Voltage to let people understand how to become a simple creator, where you literally throw up a video, you don't need to edit it, you just talk about what you're doing, you hit upload. Even imperfectly, it's more genuine. There's more authenticity to doing that than a flashy Hollywood style full edited video. You don't need to do those kinds of edited videos. People don't understand that. That's where the reality connects. Like I'm watching 18-year-old kids just blow up these channels like insane. I got 2 ladies in our group right now who are in their early 20s and they're making a couple grand on their way to making $5,000 a month as a side hustle, just throwing up videos talking about products on the creator side. They don't even own the products. They don't do anything but make videos. The company ships the products and takes care of everything. They just make a commission every time it's sold. There's little side hustles. There's little businesses. There's big business ventures. I mean, we do big business ventures. There's things that we do on the Amazon e-commerce world where you can't buy in for less than $100K to build a business that in 3 to 5 years, once you do something no one else is willing to do, you can live like nobody else can after. That's part of our motto, because after that, you now have a business, you have an enterprise, you have skills, you got trades, you got physical products, you can build to different levels, and there's always different levels of building. I think the aspect of our culture right now defines people who get started or try and hustle is not enough, it's not good enough, you're not making enough. And you know who our biggest critics are, brother? The minute we tell our family and friends we're doing something like that, they're the first one to criticize us. So whenever I tell people you're going to get started, don't tell your family and friends until you show them your paycheck.
Why do you think the show is named like this? That will never work. Because you hear it, I heard it from my friends. I heard it from my family.
Work, man. That's stupid. It's a dumb idea. You're wasting your money.
Right.
Why would you do that? Go get a job. Why don't you get your education? Why don't?
Right.
I mean, I've heard it all, brother. I don't have an education and a higher degree. I dropped out at 30 hours less of a business management degree, and I still got into IBM. Okay. Again, the phrase is who you know gets you there, and what you know keeps you there. Okay. That is something that you should hear me when I say that. It's who you know that gets you there, and it's what you know that keeps you there. And if you don't know what you know when you get there, figure it out.
Most definitely.
Figure it out.
Yep.
Okay. And the thing is, I got an IBM without a degree. I got an IBM without a double degree. I was working with the double docs at Harvard and Yale, et cetera, on projects. We were working at the Watson Computer Lab in Armonk in New York. And we were working on human machine and artificial intelligence systems, many of which you ride on today. And Amazon is one of those, and other systems online are one of those as well. The end result is I discovered that, it's more important for relationship driving and, knowing enough to be dangerous, okay, so that you can give yourself the opportunity to learn the rest. But it's really who you know and you connect with that matters at the end of the day.
Right.
You always want to know, and people argue, well, why is this person getting that much opportunity? And it's like, well, stop and look at what they're doing differently. Are they the smartest? Are they the most educated? No. Does that disqualify them? Actually, it doesn't. And that's maybe one of your biases that you got to shut down for a second, right? What are they better at than you are? Most likely it's networking. Most likely it's skills and communication and business conversation skills and the ability to talk and walk in the way that the other people are. You learn how to do that first, and you will open doors beyond doors for you. And then you have to figure it out, or at least know enough to be dangerous to stay there. Because you can be found out and be a fraud real fast if you're not actually successful at it, right? You'll get found out real fast. But I knew enough. I was successful. I had enough experience. At the end of the day, my 30 hours didn't matter. I went back to college, University of Phoenix, while I was on the road. I was on a project of 400 people. It was a $50 million project, and I was one of the team leads, and I got to a 400 level business education class. And the professor was going to fail me because I wouldn't write the business paper the way he explained me to write. And I said, dude, you don't understand. I'm operating it, and I'm running a team. There's a huge amount of... He's like, if you don't write the paper this way, then I'm going to fail you. And I said, well, you can't fail me because I quit. And that was well, I didn't need a degree. I just wanted to finish it. It was a goal. It was an objective. You mentioned, you understand what I'm saying? I wanted to finish
most def. Yep.
It was a goal. But at that point, all of a sudden, it didn't matter to me anymore. Not where I was and not that place. And sometimes it's just a matter of understanding where to put your focus again. Right. My focus at that point was learning the things of the business, learning the things of sales, learning the things of products and physical products and services. That ultimately led me into Amazon after I left IBM and went into the business world. And from there, I discovered Amazon as a juggernaut back in 2012. Before it's now become a major, massive infrastructure. Many of you probably buy from Amazon, right? Many of the products that are sold on Amazon are sold by third-party sellers like us. Sometimes I found a random lady one time on a trip to Oregon with my family who had bought my products from Amazon and bumped into her right in the airport, which is funny. But you just never know who's buying that. So Amazon led to the opportunity to create what I call almost automated income with FBA. So that has given me the ability then in the last 10 plus years to move to 50 acres in the country. We homeschool all our children. We work as a unit. We operate as a family, but my business operates here in my home office with the kids who are currently homeschooling out of the table. It's got 4 inches of snow. It looks like we may be getting another 2 inches today. So everybody's like, Dad, can we go out today and go snow sledding? We're going to see if we can do that. And that's led me to an opportunity to create, based on a system, okay, based on the inventory and the warehousing and physical products of Amazon, the ability to be here with my family.
So what made you even get into this, though?
Yeah, I discovered it. I bumped into it.
Yeah.
That's what happens when in business long enough, perseverance long enough tenacity, there's a little thing called luck that falls into it. You just kind of end up at the right place at the right time in the right moment. And because you're not afraid to take a risk, not take a jump and do something that may feel, scary to other people, the opportunities can open, and that's luck. Luck just happens. The longer you do something, you get a bit of luck in it, no matter what it is, right? And I happened to luck upon a friend of mine who was like, hey, I just sold products on Amazon. And I'm like, well, tell me about that. Like, I'm doing lead generation. I'm doing internet marketing. I'm doing these things. I don't sell physical products. Tell me what that means. And so he showed it to me. And he showed something really simple. And I was like, dang, I could do that. Like, I could flip products on Amazon. So I started flipping some products on Amazon.
Okay.
And realized that just, in the arbitrage world, to buy low, sell high, moving a product, I could make some money. And so I just went on the hunt for more product. And then I discovered brands. The real opportunity was discovery of brands. It was moving from flipping somebody else's product to moving my own, to building my own brand, which is, a private label brand, for those who don't know, is basically I made my own Nike. I made my own Reebok. I made my own, Patagonia. I made my own brand. And no one had ever heard of it. So I leveraged Amazon's authority and trust and their big old network of boats and ships and planes and infrastructure and warehouses and all the trucks that come to your house to deliver. And I leveraged that to move my products to people's front door. And with the brand became more recognizable the longer it was on Amazon. And then more people wanted to find my brand, and they wanted to find more products in my brand. So I built more brands. More brands, right? Because there was more people wanting more products, so we built more brands.
Right.
And, over the last 11 years, I'm losing track of time. We have built more than 8 brands.
Nice.
My business has helped, generate more than 100 million in sales on Amazon between myself and my clients. And we've had some major brands push through, and we do a lot of consulting with big brands now on both Amazon and off Amazon. And we have been opening the TikTok world lately for TikTok shops, and TikTok's becoming a brand discovery channel, which is really cool because it's like Amazon 2011, right before 12.
Right.
And now people are discovering brands on TikTok, but they're also ending up on Amazon because they don't necessarily trust it yet. So if you get on TikTok, they're finding it on Amazon. But TikTok's really cool because it's allowing that creator platform. You can build a side hustle off of it. You can go to voltagedm.com. That's voltagedm.com/simple profit playbook. And you can check that out. And it's a little side hustle for creator stuff. You want to make an extra $1,000 a day? We teach you how to use basically a camera and some verbal skills, and you affiliate other products and you make money with it. It's a simple little side hustle, not that hard to do. And if you want to get in the business world and you want to go bigger, we have options for that too. To go bigger in business. But that's what we do now is we build brands, we build our own, we help other people build theirs. We build them to a position of exit because now we're in the merger acquisition space. We buy and sell companies now. So as business has elevated over the years, we are now acquiring companies. We are exiting companies that we're building with our clients, and building a business with the end in mind is the major premise of what we do now. It is the business model we follow.
Neil, man, listen, man, first of all, thank you for doing my job, for, asking you for your website, how to get contact you, things like that.
I'm doing your job, dude. I'm sorry.
But here's the thing, though. It flowed right through, and I appreciate that because I don't want people to miss out on that information you had just given, because in my estimation, just with me being in the same position that you're in, you allowed it to flow. And I want people to understand that when you're passionate about what you're doing, it should be able to just flow just like that. To me, that was perfect, because some of us are too nervous. We feel as though we get tongue tied, whatever it might be. But if we're passionate, we understand what we're doing, we're focused on what we're trying to accomplish, it should be able to flow just like that.
Becomes second nature to you. Yeah,
most definitely.
It should, as you experience it. But the only reason it becomes that is because you're willing to take a risk, for those who are listening, on whatever it is you're going to do, that you're willing to get the experience, and experience only comes through failure. Okay. You don't experience anything properly if everything you do turns into gold. Right. That doesn't sound right. Okay. Gold is refined. Gold is not just simply made. Gold is refined in a process, which means you cannot become gold without refinement. Okay. So you're going to have to go out and be bronze and be okay with that to start off with, or just be your flat out ore.
Right. I'm about to say it might be
a raw material who's willing to fail up in experience so that these things become second nature to you, whatever it is you choose to go out and go after.
Neil, I appreciate it, man. You're not just giving us gold, you're giving us platinum. You're giving us all
layer above gold, isn't there?
But I appreciate you coming on today, Neil. Unfortunately, it's that time. But here's my question. I ask everybody this question. My would you rather question before I let you go.
Okay.
My would you rather question is, would you rather pick 3 doors or a fork in the road?
Fork in the road.
Why fork?
Because I'm not afraid to fail if I make the wrong choice.
Okay.
Because I may take a fork left or right. Either way, doesn't necessarily mean it's positive. It just means the outcome is one that I will own no matter what happens, whether it's positive or negative. So there's technically not a wrong choice.
Now, let me ask you this, because a lot of people have said, if I go left, it's not what I like, I'll turn around and go right. Is that something you would do too?
100%. Always adjust. Every opportunity is 2 millimeters away from where you are. It literally is. Most people think that their opportunity from here to over here is the Grand Canyon size gap in their mind, or the opportunities they make in their mind that create a Grand Canyon size gap. But what I'm telling you, those who are listening today, your opportunity is actually 2 millimeters away. It's something you're doing right now, that if you just move 2 millimeters to the right and think, how can I benefit someone else in the process that I'm currently working, doing, or achieving, so that their benefit becomes my benefit? Okay? And are they willing to pay me for that benefit? That is your opportunity, and is usually only 2 millimeters away from where you're standing right now.
Thanks, Neil. I appreciate that, man. I never considered that, but yeah, because we get caught up in our own issues, we get caught up in our own minds, overanalyzing things like that.
Overanalyzing, dude. Right? So should you go jump into real estate and you're on podcasting? No. Your opportunity for your 2 millimeter is to go and get more sponsorships for your podcast who are willing to pay you to come on every month, and that's a 2 millimeter shift you might not be doing to monetize your podcast.
Right.
To make you more money doing what you're doing already, and what you do is good, and what you are is good, and you are a good person, my man.
Thanks a lot, Neil.
Make a 2 millimeter shift. Turn that opportunity into something larger. Don't go do something completely and holistically different. Just
no. Oh no. We will definitely talk, Neil. But I appreciate you coming on, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Most definitely. And everybody, thank you for listening today. And then, of course, his information will be in the show notes. Thank you for listening to That Will Never Work podcast, and listen to our next episode.
Thanks for listening. Find us on social media at Chisholm Group LLC and check back weekly for new episodes. Until next time, that will never work, or will it?